Hello and welcome to Julie in Michigan. I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad to be seen here. The holidays have been fun and I've enjoyed them, but I'm ready for them to come to a close. Been taking lots of breaks from my work on the kitchen and I've gotten some things done, but I haven't worked day and night, 24/7, and I don't intend to start. A little at a time. Some days I work an hour or two, and some days I don't work at all. But the walls are in pretty good shape, and I've painted them a nice, very light yellow. It's a very cream base, and then I'll be adding some natural tones with it and keeping things tiny and downsized because I removed so many things from my kitchen that I just wasn't using, and they were taking up space in these big bulky cupboards, and they're gone now. And I don't have a leaky sink. In fact, I'm making do with a laundry tub, which, believe it or not, I installed myself. So I've learned a little bit about plumbing, a little bit about drywalling, a little bit about painting. I already knew a lot about painting, but I'm not touching the electricity. And I know that's coming. I have to do something with it. Maybe I'll just downsize on that too. But it's coming along and I'm looking at design now. I wanted to prepare some nice curtains and fabrics, and I thought I need to go upstairs and go through my material and find out what I have so that I can find something that is compatible with these colors. And to my surprise, sitting up there where I placed it in the box with so many other fabrics is a package of prints that I bought in 1984. And I have moved several times since then, but I've carried them with me and taken care of them. And I opened the box and I brought them downstairs and I laid them next to these colors. And oh my gosh, they are perfect. So the sewing machine will be coming out shortly. But in the meantime, I have been working on the table continuously and a bench, which I haven't mentioned before, but fits perfectly in this space behind me. And so I'm looking forward to doing some basic colors to match, but putting in a little bit of my artwork as well, because I do like to explore art and just play. It's not going to be perfect and it'll just be fun, but I'm solo here and it doesn't matter what my kitchen looks like as long as I'm happy with it. So that's the status on the kitchen. I'll continue a little bit here and a little bit there. But another project has been beckoning, and that is my book. I published my first book about 2-3 years ago. And time flies. It seems like I just did it last year, but here we are. It's 2025, and I really think it was 2022 when I put it on Amazon. And I've learned a lot since. I've attended classes, I've read books, and I continue to come back to my story and let it kind of gel within me because there's a lot to it and a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling. It's not a mystery. It's more of a cultural piece, a family saga. And there's some parallel timelines that I'm really interested in exploring because the book series takes place in the early 1900s. And in doing genealogy a few years ago, well, about 5 or 6 now, I found that all of my family on my father's side came from this area. And I guess that's what drew me to settle back in the west side of Michigan as opposed to the east side where I grew up. In researching my father's birth, I found that he had been born in a small town in Indiana. And I wasn't sure why my grandmother and grandfather were in this small town in Indiana. But I went down there and looked in the library where they had the newspaper archives back to 1880 on microfiche. And I explored the month of his birth and didn't see a lot that was relevant to further exploration for me, by me. So I went to the month he was conceived. And there was a lot happening in this little town in 1908, the year that he was conceived. And there was a newspaper story that caught my attention, and I based my book 1 on that event. But I fell in love with the characters, and I included my grandmother in that story, not in the role that she lived in life, but as an interesting character in the book. So these characters move forward several years to 1915 and focus more on the little girl, Lizzie, who's 10 years old at this point in time. And she's a curious person, and actually she kind of reminds me of me. And she uncovers some things that she's not sure what they mean. And so we can go along with her. I write a little bit, and I think a little bit, and I feel a little bit, and I watch other movies, and I listen to music, and I go for walks. And it's coming together. It's evolving. I think it's going to be this year, it will be completed. So I'm excited about that. And my YouTube channel. This has been a process of learning for me since I have retired. I'm well past retirement age. I don't know if you've noticed from the earlier videos. I'm 74 years old, but still going pretty strong. I go dancing and I go bicycling, and I have an e-bike, and I love to do those things. But I also like to learn. And so YouTube has been quite the learning experience for me. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit my videos, and I have the wireless mic, and I have several tripods, and I relax too. I don't work day and night. I get up really early. Some days I wake up at 3 or 4, and I just say, okay, this is a great opportunity to do something. And that's usually writing or painting. And then as the day moves on, I will get into a little bit more of connecting with friends. And usually around noon, I stop and have some lunch or a late breakfast, because I've already had several cups of tea and 1 cup of coffee and some of that homemade bread toasted with butter that I love, my seeded bread. So noonish, I take a break for a couple hours, and then I might come back and do some editing of the film, or maybe think about rearranging or design and laying out how I can best use this space. At present, it works. I can eat, I can cook. I use my Instant Pot a lot, make a lot of things ahead of time, and then store them in the freezer for busy days. And I bake bread every couple of days. And I use the toaster oven, the microwave, and I use my Instant Pot and a stovetop burner. I removed the stove, so this is a single. But I also have one of the, I forget what you call it. It's a plate, and you have to have special cookware, or you can use a cast iron skillet. So I've used that induction stovetop. And just cozying up and making this a place where I can just walk in and smile and say, I love my kitchen. So I hope you come along with me as we travel this design phase, and I put this book into finishing touches and get ready to self-publish, but I think I'm going to do it a little different this time. I don't think I'm going with Amazon. I'm looking at some other avenues to self-publish. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you like this video. And I look forward to seeing you again, and happy the rest of your holidays. So long for now.